Hi, I'm Marquise,
And this is your one and only favorite Taylor.
and welcome to the You Stuck With Me podcast.
You stuck. You stuck with me.
In this podcast, you get to learn about our relationship, the ins and outs, and everything that happens in between.
Basically went through the sickness and the health and almost death do us part before we said I do.
And she's stuck with me, I'm stuck with her, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
And now y'all stuck with us.
Episode starts right now.
I don't like no whips and chains if you can tie me down. Cause you can whip your lovin' on me, baby. Whip your lovin' on me, baby. I don't want no whips and chains if you can tie me down. Cause you can whip your lovin' on me, baby. Whip your lovin' on me. I'm vanilla, baby. I forgot the rest just that quick.
It's okay, we got an episode to do right now.
But that would have been dope if I would have just. But
I did.
fine.
Yo, it's your boy Marquise.
And this is your one and only your favorite Taylor.
And welcome back to the You Stuck With Me podcast.
You stuck with me.
So beautiful, how do you feel?
I'm happy that we're back.
Yes. I'm happy that we're back too because we got a lot to talk about.
So, take it away, tall man.
Okay, so in this episode...
But before we get into the episode, we'd like to shout out our sponsor.
Yes. We're shouting our sponsor, Mono Microphones, the #1 internet microphone worldwide.
Because look at that beauty right there.
You can tell the sound difference too when I speak.
I mean, you still sound annoying to me, but that's...
Well,
you know I love you.
Yeah, whatever.
And then also, we want to thank y'all for liking, sharing, subscribing, and listening to the podcast.
Yes.
And for those who are still playing around with us, right? You know you like what you hear, so go ahead and hit that follow button.
Yeah. No matter where you're listening from, we're on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and now iHeartRadio.
Oh, we part of iHeart now. I almost forgot about that. But go ahead, take it away, Pumpkin.
So in this episode, we're talking about comments that Leslie Jones said about marriage. Now, she's a comedian, so some things you can take with a grain of salt, but others she was more serious about. So her comment was that marriage is like slavery and that she would not suggest young women make marriage the goal. And so we're discussing this because obviously we're a married couple. We just want to give our thoughts on it. And my first thing I want to say was I was never going to condemn her because she may have had some recent experiences or bad dating, history that has led her to feel that way.
And then also, it feels like to me it's coming from a place of learning about gender roles. So, I mean, growing up, she probably learned something about gender roles or seen stuff. Because, I mean, the first thing I thought of with her saying that was like the color purple. I want to say Their Eyes Were Watching God. The first half of it. Excuse me. The first half of it, just basically seeing women have to be that traditional wife. Because I think she mentioned that too, right?
Yes, so she said that she was not built to be a traditional wife, and that her father never taught her how to be a wife because she was raised by her father, obviously. And I want to dive into that real quick because we always talk about how mothers would tell their sons what women want, but we don't hear it a lot that men tell their daughters what men want.
Okay, so I'm going to say this respectfully. How can you expect your father to teach you how to be a wife?
I mean, I get that, and we say the same thing about how can your mom teach you how
Yeah.
to be a husband.
He can tell you, and he could tell you his idea or concept of a wife, because maybe he was married in the past or he knows what he wants in a wife. But I mean, I say this respectfully. How can a father teach their daughter to be a wife?
And I get what you're saying. I want to backtrack just
Excuse
a little
me.
bit. You're fine, babe. I want to backtrack just a little bit because men are always taught how to treat a woman, and women know what to expect from a man. But when you flip it, you know, men don't know what to expect from a woman because a lot of women weren't taught that growing up, and it's kind of a hot topic. But I think that may have something to do with her upbringing because she did say, like I said, she said she was raised by her father. Her father didn't tell her how to be a wife, which goes back to what you just said. But I think just like a woman can teach a man to be a husband to an extent, a father can teach a wife to be a wife to an extent.
I disagree with that.
Okay, give me a reason why. Or
Again,
reasons.
well, it's just a statement. Teach her to be a wife. No, you're not teaching her to be a wife. You're showing her what you will want in a wife, what you prefer. For example, when we started dating, right?
Mhm.
What were some of the qualities that you looked for in a woman?
So is that rhetorical or do you want me to eat it?
No, it's not rhetorical. I'm asking you a legit
Okay.
question.
Okay, so one of the things I was looking for in a wife is she had to have the same morals as me, same uh s- I don't want to say standards, but I guess for lack of better words, I would say standards. You know, she hides herself in a high regard. She doesn't do anything that is not ladylike. She can have her own personal style to do things. I'm not gonna knock the way that she does things because she does things for a reason. Um, she had to be a woman of God. And this is probably the most shallow things I would say. She had to be a Zeta. I mean, we're
Can
right
you
on that.
can you expound a little bit more on the ladylike aspect? I
So
promise I'm gonna get to the point in a minute, but go ahead.
so she doesn't walk around trying to control everything. She doesn't try to compete with me. Everything that I say doesn't end in an argument with her. She's pretty chill, laid back. Definitely knows how to make me laugh.
So to give you a way of a different perspective of thinking of ladylike, to me, that doesn't sound ladylike. That just sounds like you wanted someone that shows you respect or put your feelings in regards. That's not necessarily late. Like that's just being considerate. Everybody wants consideration.
Yeah, but not everybody can be considerate. There's a
That's
difference.
true, but I'm just saying though, you see how you said ladylike and I asked you,
My
what do you
qua
mean?
my qualities of a
It
lady.
changes your mind, your mindset on that, right? Like
I mean, I
it's
think
not just, I get what you mean. Feminine. Oh, okay. Thank you, Steve. Hey,
hi
Steve.
Steve. And I wasn't trying to necessarily shoot for feminine, but I, my ideas of what a woman being ladylike is different from somebody else. It's subjective.
Okay. But again, first of all, I'm not trying to attack you. I don't want you to
No,
think
I
I'm
don't feel like
attacking
you're
you
attacking me.
or, shut down. I'm just giving you a different perspective. I think feminine might be a little bit more. But also too, I'm thinking too, well, you just described some things that I possibly wanted in a guy when I was dating.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a guy that who can give direction and also receive it.
Mm-hmm.
Also have that quality, that initiative of like you see me doing something and I can't do it. I just want you to have
So
that
this is when I would come in and step in.
come in and step in, fill in the holes.
Mm-hmm.
And also be able to be comfortable with having a woman that's non-traditional,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like that type of stuff there, you see what I'm saying? We have similar qualities of what we want to see in as a person, but it's like
Some things we can deal with and without.
some things we could deal without, but it's not subjective to just gender.
Mm-hmm.
It comes to a whole person.
Mm-hmm.
But what the main purpose of me saying that was, again, you see how we describe how what we want
Yeah.
that makes us feel comfortable in a relationship.
Yeah.
That that's something that can't always be taught, and we can't generalize it to like this is the standard to be a perfect spouse. This is a standard to have a successful relationship. This is the standard to have a successful marriage. Every marriage and relationship is different.
I agree with that. And that what works for us doesn't work for anyone
Right.
else. And this is probably why Leslie Jones feels the way that she feels and said what she said, because she has qualities that she wants and she has qualities that she has.
And
And
she wants to be in a space where she could feel free and still move around independently. That's nothing wrong with
Yeah, there's
that. That
nothing wrong with that.
if that floats your boat, then hey,
And I didn't know this until I read it. I did not know that she is 6 foot.
uh,
I did not
she
know that.
tall.
Yeah. And she described herself as a 6 foot mandingo. that took me.
Mandingo warrior.
But she probably would have been good in the movie with what the God, what's her name? She played Annalise Keaton.
How to Get Away with Murder?
Yeah. God, what's her name? They would have been good in
Viola Davis.
Viola Davis. She would have been good with her and Woman King.
Oh, I never seen it yet.
It was a good movie.
I know I'm late. I'm late to catching up on movies, but anyway. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I mean, that's how I felt when I first heard about it. I'm like, oh, I mean, I'll say this. When I first heard it, I took it that way. But when anybody else would hear, they probably got offended.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Offended or be like, okay, she just sound like bitter and stuff like that.
See, initially when you sit there and think about it, when you first read it and first hear about it, you think that she's bitter. But when you go ahead and you dive more in depth to the conversation that she was having, she explained why. And you can't say she's bitter. It's just the way that she was brought up.
And then that's just her mindset. I mean, it's just like with anybody, if you haven't been exposed to something, you're not gonna know much about it.
Mm-hmm. But you can also take the time to learn about it if you're interested.
Yeah, but then also too, then like we said, it depends on the relationship. I mean, I consider us non-traditional.
I agree with that.
Yeah, ain't nothing traditional about me, homie.
I'm fine with that, and I think that if she was to find someone that she was interested in, if she's even open to dating, I think that if the right person comes along, it's gonna make you change a lot of things about yourself. Because I'm gonna be honest, when we first started dating, I changed a lot of things about me because you gave me the latitude to do so, and you made me question a lot of things that I realized that weren't necessarily right.
In other words, I'm gonna spill the tea, y'all. So when me and Marquise first got together, he was a party animal. He wanted to stay all night and stuff like that. I'm like, ain't nothing out here in the streets but crab legs and 7-Eleven. Like, sit down somewhere, right? And then when I came along, I'm like, hey, we can kick it at home. We can have game nights and stuff like that. Now look,
And she said that she's the one who's domesticated.
I am domesticated. I didn't become domesticated till Marquise came to my life.
That's cap. But no, but seriously, back to the topic. So I think that it's interesting that Leslie Jones has this perspective, and I don't think she's alone because not a lot of women who are interested in being in a relationship want to be traditional women, and I think that because of the times that we're in, maybe the term traditional woman hasn't changed, but the meaning behind it I'm sorry, let me say it again. The word traditional women hasn't changed, but the meaning behind it has changed.
I still think traditional is a trigger word.
No, I agree with you. It's a trigger
It
word.
is a trigger word.
But do you think so? When you think about a traditional woman, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
I would say the example I always seen like on TV and stuff like that, the homemaker.
See that, and that's what has been popularized.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that for me, when I think of traditional woman, and I agree with you, homemaker, she doesn't go to work, she stays home to take care of the kids. Husband goes off to work, and that's very like 1950s.
Yeah.
So we're now 70, 75 years into the future. Relationships have changed because obviously women are in the workplace. Women are CEOs. They own their own businesses. Black women are the most educated in the country. So when you look at the way that times have changed, traditional women, like I said, the name is still the same, but the meaning is different.
I could see why you say that. I was getting ready to say, I'm proud to say I'm one of those educated Black women. Yeah, yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you got a whole hoodie that says "Danger Educated Woman."
Yeah, danger, educated Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
I would talk about my degrees, but y'all know the real ones know. But no, yeah. But you do make up a good point. Over the years, things have changed, right? And then also too, society has changed. Because back then, what we knew when we learned about traditional, it was like, oh, the woman stays home and takes care of the kids and cleans the house and makes sure that meals are prepared and
Hmm.
everything like that. And the guy goes out and provides and works and be the manly man.
Hmm.
But as I gotten older, I'm like, that does not work for everybody.
I'm glad you said that because that was the exact same thing I was going to say. That
That does not work for
yeah,
everybody.
it does not. If it works for you, cool, do you. But if it doesn't work for you, do what works for you
That's
in your
cool too.
household.
Yeah. And then I think that's where a lot of this 50-50 debate comes from too, to an extent. Why it's like a big
I can
thing.
see why you say that
Yeah.
because prior to when it was just the husband going out and working every day, there were no conversations like that. But because of the way the society pressed on and changed, and women had to enter the workforce because of World War II, that's when women started to have their own money. Uh, a lot of things opened up from like
Oh,
originally
all the
women couldn't.
women, can you hear me? Throw your hands up at
Here you go.
me. Was it all the mamas?
See, you gotta
Says
make
it,
sure
but
you gotta make sure you know the lyrics before you start
I'm
singing it.
having a brain freeze today. Okay, lay off me.
I mean, I'm just saying. No, but seriously. But as the way as society progressed, at one point women couldn't have their own bank accounts, they couldn't own land, they couldn't work, couldn't vote. All that has changed over the last, including with the women voting, that's changed over like the last 130 years because you obviously have the women's suffrage movement and things of that nature. But because now because of where we're at and the way society works, women can have their own and do for themselves, and that also sparks a conversation. And this is a topic for another time. When and shout out to Neo for this line: "When a woman wants you but don't need you."
Mm,
I mean,
mm.
women can want a man, but they don't have to have one.
That you're right. That is another topic for another episode.
But also it ties into this conversation because look at where we are now, and we're having this conversation. And Leslie Jones, she's a comedian, she's funny, but this is how she feels, and I'm pretty sure she's not alone.
I mean, that's what my next thing was gonna be. Like, we know that she's not alone in that sentiment, but of course, we're a married couple,
Hmm.
right? So my thing about it is we giving our take. What advice would you give for those who are still, open to dating, or they still putting a little toe in the dating pool or whatever like that, and they hear her comments, what advice would you give them?
The first advice I would give them is that what works for her won't necessarily work for you,
Hmm.
because the way she feels is because maybe the way that she dated, or maybe the way she was raised, and she did mention the way she was raised. So I'd say don't follow everything that you see another celebrity, because it may not work for you. Second thing is, I would ask why do you feel that way? Because we obviously will have to get to the bottom of it, because most part people don't tend to feel a way about anything for no reason. So with this being said, talking about being in a relationship and you're looking, you're trying to dip your toe in the water. I mean, a toe is not going to tell you much. You probably gonna have to jump in and see what
I
happens.
mean, yeah, but as we've heard, that dating pool is trash.
Yeah, I heard that, but
It's
then
a
again, when you sit there and think
it's a
about it, what
abyss.
not
It's
a
an
this,
abyss.
not a this,
Ah,
but
I'm sorry.
that was funny though.
When I first heard that, I was in tears. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
But we also got to sit here and think about, yeah, we've been married for almost 4 years, and before we started dating, we had to say the same thing. We thought that dating pool was pissed.
I didn't think the dating pool was pissed. I just thought I just thought I guess I had a type that I couldn't break.
Okay,
And dating has changed since we dated.
okay, I agree with you. That's fair.
Yeah,
That's a fair
because
assessment.
it's a lot of changes. First of all, I mean, yeah, we had social media when we was dating, but technology changes like every 2 years. So
Hmm.
just imagine how many changes has happened since then.
Hmm.
Then also the societal norms have changed somewhat.
I, okay, I agree with that.
Yeah. Also, too, the economy has changed.
Oh, most definitely.
I mean, there's a lot of things that play a factor here. So when someone who is single and dating tells me that the dating pool is the best, I believe it. I believe it because there's a lot of factors in here.
So I wanna quickly go back to an episode that we did a while ago when we were talking about Vivica A.
Let me
Fox
get
and
some water right here.
Vivica A. Fox and God, what's her name?
David Banner.
No, no, not David Banner. I see the face
Vivica A. Fox
and
is the interview she did
yeah,
with
but
Sherry Shepherd.
no, but it was her and Diamond from Players Club.
Oh, Lisa Ray.
Lisa Ray, how they were talking about they wanted to find husbands at their age, and people were talking about they're not gonna find them because they 60 and all this da 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 da. I think for the simple reason or the simple, just because of the topic, I think that Leslie Jones, if she is open to it and finds the right person, her demeanor, her thought patterns may change.
Mm. I would just say this. It just all depends on where she is in her life. Maybe she's one of those people who marriage isn't for them or relationships isn't for them. And
I
that's
agree.
perfectly okay.
Yeah, I mean, we know a lot of people who say that they're good with or without a relationship.
Yeah. Or on that journey where they're, discovering themselves first, which is fine. I'm a big advocate for discovering yourself first, self-love.
Yeah, I agree. So on that note, beautiful, this was a great episode. You want to tell the people where they can find you?
You mean find us
No,
first?
no, you first.
Me first.
I'm,
Ladies first.
I'm being,
Ladies
I'm
first.
being chivalrous right now.
Oh, ladies first. Ladies first. You can find me on Instagram. In the app formerly known as Twitter under Queen Points. That is PO1NTZ. Again, that's Queen Points, PO1NTZ. And also, if you want some more behind the scenes footage, of me and Steve having heart to heart talks and hugs and me getting on Marquise nerves and him doing me dirty for messing up my Heroes order, but we'll talk about that later. You can follow me on TikTok under Queen Points 22. Again, that is Queen Points 22. Where can they find you?
So you can find me on IG, TikTok, and the app formerly known as Twitter. I went back to it, don't know why, but yeah, you can find me there at mine_1. That is M1NE_1. Once again, M1NE_1. You can find us at youstuckwithme@gmail.com. That is USTUCKWITME@gmail.com.
Y'all email us this season because we planning on a listener letter episode.
Yeah,
We
so
want to be in y'all business. Well,
yes.
I want to be in y'all business. Whatever y'all want to tell me.
So yeah, y'all can send us a listener letter. We'll gladly read it on the air. I think I'm forgetting something.
The TikTok.
Yes, I'm on TikTok as well. You stuck with me _podcast. And you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and don't forget iHeartRadio.
Steve, where can they find you? I know you ain't got a mic.
You can find me at Black on it and who's reporting.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So on that note, this is your one and only your favorite Taylor.
And this is your boy Marquise.
And you stuck. You stuck with us.
Peace out, y'all.
Hey, come back.
Better.
Later.